Jaguar rocked the automotive world with its controversial rebrand that saw the classic marquee wiped clean and reconstructed as something unrecognizable. The Type 00 concept was revealed as a flagship ultra-luxury coupe, an odd choice in the current market. However, as more and more details have slipped out on the production version, which will instead be a 4-door fastback with a rear hatch, things are starting to feel more real. I'm Creech, this is Creech and Cars, and today I'll get you all caught up on Jaguar's all-new upcoming flagship model. Let's start on the exterior, where the production model's final design has yet to be revealed, but we can get a good idea of what it will be like based on these spied shots of a camouflaged model combined with the original concept and some renderings. The overall boxy shape with clean geometric lines dominates the design philosophy, and with this production model, we can clearly see 4-door handles accompanied by a coupe-like roofline. It is important to note that Jaguar says that the doors will be button operated, so I don't know if these visible door handles are placeholders or if they won't really fold out at all and it will just simply be a door handle shaped button. But either way, I point this out to make it clear that this is a 4-door vehicle, no matter how you slice it. We can also clearly see this coupe-like roofline. I'll go more into the competition later, but this design puts the new Jag in the room with models like the Porsche Taycan and Audi e-tron GT. The front end will be very upright, and I think there's an essence of Rolls-Royce to be found all around this design, which isn't a bad thing at all, especially considering that Jaguar aims to move upmarket with this relaunch. One other interesting item to note is that the Jaguar GT will not have a rear window. This is something that has been approved by US regulators as well as in various other markets, so don't be surprised if we start seeing this on more and more cars in the future. Overall, I can always appreciate car designers taking risks, and this Jaguar does appear to be on the unique side. But in a world full of boring EVs, it is nice to see something a little different. I think much of the criticism that the rebrand has drawn is due to the fact that Jaguar has always been this kind of weird and unique brand, and this company still has so many beautiful cars in its history to draw from. Meanwhile, many parts of this rebrand just don't really make sense. There's no connection to the history of the brand, and even though Jaguar is still trying to be different in many ways, it just doesn't really make sense. Still, that doesn't mean it's impossible for the new Jaguar brand to make a genuinely good luxury car. As for the inside, I've been scouring over spy shots to try to get a glimpse of the production interior design, and I just haven't been able to see it. Looking back at the concept's interior, I think it's pretty disappointing. Minimalism isn't luxurious, and it never will be. Just because, spoiler alert, this new Jag will be electric, doesn't mean it has to look like every other EV on the inside. The Cadillac Celestiq and Rolls-Royce Spectre are perfect examples of EVs with beautifully ornate and luxurious interior designs. And I know Jaguar is capable of doing something like that. Really, the only piece of information that exists about the production model's interior is from this article by Steve Fowler, who was allowed to see the near production model and share some of what he saw. Basically, he says that much of the concept's design philosophy comes through, but it is toned down. This is typical from the kind of concept to production process that you would see with any other car. Steve says he came away feeling that the car was luxurious, but not in a traditional sense. Steve also added that that was a good thing, but it sounds worrisome to me. It's the exact phrase that I would not want to hear when thinking about what Jaguar is going to do next. Still, at this point, all I can do is hope that more effort is put into the final interior design than was put into the concept. There are some additional updates for the powertrain and some of the mechanical specs on the new Jaguar GT. As I mentioned earlier, this new model is fully electric. We've known that for some time now, as Jaguar says it will never make gas cars again, despite the recent slowdown that we've seen with electric cars. This new Jaguar GT will have around 1,000 horsepower, That part has been confirmed, but we don't know exactly where the power will come from. My guess is a quad motor all-wheel drive setup with fairly even distribution, essentially meaning one motor at each wheel. The power will come down through these 23-inch wheels, and Steve Fowler, who rode in the new Jaguar on those very large wheels, did say the car was quite comfortable and he didn't find that the wheels made the ride overly harsh. This is also a very big car, on par with ultra-luxury staples like the Ghost or Phantom, coming in at about 211 inches long and weighing in at just over 6,000 pounds. In normal people terms, that's about the size of a Tahoe. Obviously not as tall, but in terms of the length and weight. So aside from those numbers on paper, Jaguar wants to add a unique feeling to the car. Something that when you get in and you drive it, you feel like it drives like a Jaguar. And this is proving to be quite the challenge, as we've seen with other companies when it comes to EVs. Seemingly the answer is just through software and the steering feedback, the braking feedback, the suspension. Will Jaguar actually be able to develop some unique feel that is, unique in a positive way, that's recognizable? Well, we'll just have to wait and see to find out how that finished product drives. Now, how much longer will we have to wait? The official reveal is on track to take place this summer in 2026, with the first model year being 2027. Pricing should be comparable to models like the Taycan and e-tron GT, which means a base price that is a little over $100,000, with a well-equipped model coming in closer to the $150,000 mark, and potentially up from there. So that should catch you up on the confirmed details for this new Jaguar GT, and now that some of the dust has settled from Jaguar's disastrous rebrand launch, I've had some time to ponder the fundamentals of this new model and this new era for the brand. Regardless of what Jaguar can do with this model, or in other words, how good it is as a car in and of itself, I see some significant headwinds that are working against it. Number one, it's always harder to move upmarket than downmarket. Brand name matters, and to further illustrate my point, think back over the last several decades of the luxury car market. Brands like Mercedes, BMW, and even Jaguar have always been trying to get cheaper, more volume models into the lineup. Doing the opposite is far more difficult, and that's why it's rarely seen. To be fair, there are exceptions to the rule. Hyundai is a great example, but still, I think it will be very difficult to find people who will pay well over $100,000 for a Jaguar. Another general market trend working against this model is the move away from sedans. Granted, this sloping roofline with the rear hatch does hedge that a little bit, but I still think it would have been smarter to go with a proper SUV, much like Toyota is doing with the launch of the Century brand. The Taycan and e-tron GT, which would be this model's main competitors, have had good moments, but they haven't really been super successful from a sales perspective, and that's not because they're bad cars. They're actually quite amazing. Perhaps as good as EVs can get, but the general market wants SUVs. All in all, I'm still quite worried about the future prospects of Jaguar. This new GT model may be great, but the brand needs to expand into other segments fast to get revenue flowing back in after what will be a significant period of just not selling anything. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more updates on Jaguar and other news from across the automotive world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.